The melatonin hormone slowly starts to rise in the evening as cortisol goes down, and then that's what makes you start feeling sleepy. And women with PCOS tend to have an issue with melatonin receptors on the ovaries, and they're not as receptive to melatonin. So sometimes taking a melatonin supplement could help, or sometimes taking CBD to really reduce cortisol and then push that melatonin up can help as well.
Doctor said you got PCOS. Now go on, girl, just lose some weight. Till I took the symptoms into my own hands and reversed them naturally. So I became a dietitian to help my sisters feel the best they've ever felt. Take a step in my direction if you wanna prove them wrong and take control of yourself. Join a sister and a mister.
It's working fine. No. It's working fine and it's great.
No, it's not. It's actually not.
We're referring to some phantom notifications that went out in the middle of the night to sisterhood members from the app.
Some of the members received 10 notifications at 3 a.m. stating that this is a test, the app is working fine. And we had this ongoing joke in the Facebook group of how Sirak has had gastritis over the sisterhood app development. And this was really the nail in the coffin the other day.
We're trying to set up notifications for the live calls. And, I guess the developers thought that it was going out to just the test accounts that we have, to to test the app. But I guess by accident, it went out to half the members, I guess.
Yeah. But it's fine.
Oh, it's fine. Yeah.
We made light of it.
Yeah, we posted about it in the Facebook group, and there was a lot of great fun time and jokes. And
we've moved on.
We're happy that everybody's so understanding of these
Someone
struggles.
said Sirak should get a Costco-sized box of Prilosec.
Yeah. If you didn't hear the episode I think it was about a month ago, where we talked about how in December from the app launch, I ended up getting gastritis from the stress. Ended up losing a little bit of weight, but we're okay.
Good.
We're making it back.
I also don't feel like we had a full holiday experience in December, so we might make up for it with a ski trip.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just
But part of my New Year resolution was to actually just relax. Of course, I should relax. What I did was I made a reminder, a task every day to meditate. So for anyone who's looking to improve stress, I'll let you know how this goes and if it helps, and it should be fine.
He even meditated before this podcast.
Oh, I did. I tried to do it early in the day.
Good job, Bill.
Thank you. Because you know why? If I don't do it early in the day, then it resides at the back of my shoulders, and that's now giving me anxiety. Because that's just how life works, isn't it? Even when you're trying to do something that's supposed to help you, that gives you the fact of you wanting to do
the
it.
thing gives you anxiety. Well. Anyways, everything's fine. The app is working great. We're all good here.
To be honest, everybody tells us that the launch of an app is usually really stressful, and that the way ours launched is actually really good. The way everything is working and the way nothing is broken. Yeah. A lot of people told us when you first launch an app, it doesn't even work the first couple of days, and fortunately we didn't have that situation. We just had minor hiccups, but still, it's human nature to just get stressed out about everything.
Exactly. We good.
All right.
Good.
Let's move on.
Shall we?
Let's go to the Q&A. So today we're going to cover how to sleep better with PCOS. We're going to talk about the reasons why women with PCOS aren't able to sleep better and some things that you can do to improve your sleep starting tonight. So before we get there, let's do our Q&A session. These are taken from Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Pinterest, and so forth. So Tyne, get us started.
All right. MDA HMD says, hi, someone told me pumpkin seeds are not good for PCOS. Is it true? I just found out. I've been eating them regularly for weeks now. Well, actually, pumpkin seeds have lots of zinc and magnesium in it, and they're great at blocking DHT. DHT is the more potent form of testosterone. So I like to sprinkle pumpkin seeds on everything. So I think it's great. Yeah. The only thing I will say is that it's hard for PCOS women to absorb omega-3 fats from seeds and nuts. And the best way for us to absorb it is from fish and fish oil supplements. So maybe that's what the person was referring to when they said pumpkin seeds aren't good for PCOS, but they are good.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, next question is from Kavita Mishra. Her question is, why the elliptical machine specifically? So this is in reference to a post we had on Instagram. If you don't follow us there, it's at PCOS.weightloss. And this post was talking about different forms of cardio and why some of them are more beneficial. And one of them was elliptical machine. Now, when we talk about cardio, we always talk about doing cardio in a way that makes it more efficient and involves your muscles more. So, for example, when you do an elliptical machine, there is a resistance. Your arms and your legs are both involved in the motion, and you can sometimes, depending on the machine, you can put a setting to put a bit more resistance. These are all really great for building leg muscles, building muscles throughout the body, which in turn will improve your insulin resistance, metabolism, and so much more. So that's like a reason why we would mention elliptical machine or the 12-3-30 method and things like that, where you're basically putting the treadmill at an incline to increase the effectiveness on the muscles.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. We have another question from Rabea. She says, which cooking oil is the best overall? So for cooking oil, it's really about the smoke point and like how much you're cooking something. So oils like avocado oil and coconut oil have a higher smoke point and they won't burn. So if you're really cooking something for a long time or even like frying something, that's what I would use. I use avocado oil. And then when it comes to like other things that are a quick saute or anything like that, I like olive oil personally.
Great. Yeah, I like using olive oil a lot for like eggs and things. Sometimes avocado oil. I actually like using avocado oil more. I feel like it doesn't have a effectiveness on the flavor as much as olive oil does sometimes.
It definitely doesn't have like flavor when you use avocado oil.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's move on to the main topic of today's episode. And by the way, if you have any questions you want us to answer on the podcast, you can always ask them on any of our social media platforms, including Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Pinterest, and just like you can DM it to us or comment on one of our posts, and we usually will pick 3 questions a week to answer on here. But yeah, you can find us, I didn't mention, you can find us on all those platforms at PCOS.weightloss or just PCOS weight loss.
All right, so let's hop right into it. Considering I had a poor night of sleep last night because there was so much wind and I kept waking up from it.
Yeah, me too.
I'm really feeling it right now, seriously.
Well, I mean, when you're, so like the sleep is so important because when it's interrupted, it not only like makes you tired, but it can make you easily stressed, hungry, forgetful, uncoordinated, and you can get sicker easily.
Yeah, and this is not good for anyone, especially PCOS women, because we're at a higher risk of sleep disruptions and disorders. We're 1.5 times more likely to have sleeping issues. Hello.
Yeah. And we'll get into the reasons why. And once we get into the reasons why, it'll start to make sense, especially if you're experiencing, like some of the symptoms that like, for example, fatigue or cravings throughout the day, or even like being tired throughout the entire day and still not being able to fall asleep at night. We'll cover some of the reasons why, and it'll really open up like your eyes into like what's actually happening.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of women are just not even dealing, just like living with sleep problems. And it can take such a toll on your quality of life. So these are really important factors to address, to understand what's going on so you can really take the next steps and get in bed.
Yeah, exactly. So let's get started with some of the few things that might be happening with your body in general that might be affecting your sleep. So the first one, and this is like usually the most common reason why, and this is cortisol and melatonin balance. If you haven't heard what cortisol is before, cortisol is essentially your stress hormone. When you work out or when you do a stressful activity, your cortisol hormone will spike as a response. And Tanya, you want to explain what melatonin hormone is?
Yeah, the melatonin hormone slowly starts to rise in the evening as cortisol goes down, and then that's what makes you start feeling sleepy. And women with PCOS tend to have an issue with melatonin receptors on the ovaries, and they're not as receptive to melatonin. So sometimes taking a melatonin supplement could help, or sometimes taking CBD to really reduce cortisol and then push that melatonin up can help as well.
Yeah. And there are some supplements, like, for example, I mean, we'll get into this later when we talk about how to get better sleep. Some great supplements are like magnesium, for example, Adrenal Soothe, that can really help with things like this. So let's go on to the second reason why you might be experiencing insomnia or poor sleep.
Insulin resistance. 80% of us struggling with insulin resistance. It's this disruption in our glucose synthesis process, and that makes us feel really fatigued, and it just throws off your body's ability to regulate blood sugar. So you might feel fatigued throughout the day, and then this fight or flight response kind of kicks in because your body is crashing from the blood sugar. So it can, like insulin and cortisol, is really correlated. It has a lot to do with each other. So just being insulin resistant can lead to poor sleep. And then having poor sleep can lead to more insulin resistance the next day. So think about that for a second.
Yeah. Now, this next one might be actually surprising, and that is irregular menstrual cycles or missing periods, or just basically irregular periods in general. You might be like, wait, how does this relate to sleep? But just after ovulation, there's an important hormone change that helps with your sleep cycle. When this is disrupted due to an irregular period, you may see worsening sleep problems. For example, painful cramping leads to higher levels of estrogen that disrupts REM sleep, which, as you may know, is deep sleep. And also, too little progesterone prevents the body from falling and staying asleep. Interesting how estrogen and progesterone can actually affect your sleep. So it's good to keep in mind that if you're having irregular periods or missing periods, regulating them may also help with sleep as well. And if you want to learn more about that, we also have a podcast episode about that. If you check out, actually, I think it was just last week or 2 weeks ago, we had a sister who talked about her 10 tips into how she got her period back. So actually perfect timing with this one. Just 2 weeks ago, we had a podcast episode about this.
That's a good point. And sometimes we don't really correlate the two together, irregular periods and fatigue and not being able to sleep at night. So next is anxiety and depression. Women with PCOS were 3 times more likely to experience depression and anxiety over a healthy woman who doesn't have PCOS. And this is partially due because we have this metabolic hormonal imbalance and some PCOS comorbidities like weight gain and acne and unwanted hair loss that really play a role in having anxiety and depression. So feeling this way can also lead to insomnia and having poor sleep at night. But not to be worried, we are going to get into some of the things that you can do to get better sleep with PCOS.
Yes. Yeah, let's get started with it. So the first one, as simple as it sounds, we're going to break it down, is giving yourself time to wind down. A morning routine is really great for physical and mental health, but an evening routine is just as important. It gives your body time to sleep, and without a clear break or distinction between between your day and going to bed, your body may keep your cortisol levels high and your melatonin levels low, even as you're trying to sleep at night. So that little break, let's say maybe after dinner, I'm just making up a scenario here. If this is not how your life is, I totally understand. But let's say you finish dinner at 7, and then you finish up with everything, and then from 8 to 9 or 8:30 to 9:30, you just kind of take a moment to relax. And maybe time you can break down what a regular wind down time would look like.
Sure. A strong wind down routine for me looks like pouring myself some tea. I like to have rosehip tea at night because studies show that it lowers cortisol. So some rosehip tea, and then I get my Kindle and I read a nice book. And the Kindle is light. It's not like a blue light, so it's not disturbing me.
Yeah, it's that paper book screen kind of thing.
Avoiding blue lights is ideal for a good wind down.
They even said that a study found that reading a book can reduce stress by 68%. So that's an extra little tip right there that can coincide with the anxiety thing that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, totally. Also, I like to go on a walk around the evening time, sometimes like a 10-minute walk while the sun is setting, because those rays of the sun at night are different than the rays throughout the day. They're actually going to stimulate melatonin. So this is I feel so different after an evening walk, honestly. And then a nice little meditative exercise, maybe yoga. Some others are like Tai Chi. You could stretch.
Yeah.
If you're like working out and you're sore, doing a good stretch with the foam roller is great. And listening to music. And trust me, do all of these and you'll see such a difference in your ability to fall asleep quickly.
Yeah. So, and some important things too is like kind of avoiding screens. As hard as that may sound, like avoiding your phone screen and just trying to like at least turn those things off after like 9:30 or something like that. Or like at least 1 hour before you sleep.
Yes. So another tip is to take a melatonin supplement. Melatonin, it's vital for our bodies to fall asleep and to stay asleep. And it's actually, they call it the chill out hormone. It helps you chill out. It's like the opposite of cortisol. So like I said earlier, women with PCOS, our melatonin receptors sometimes are not as strong. And so a melatonin supplement might be something to consider.
And as an added bonus, magnesium is also a great one because it can help with sleep, relaxing. It can also help with like painful cramps. Shout out to OvaFit. Our multivitamin on OvaFit has magnesium inside of it.
That's right. All right. So the next tip is to stick to your sleep schedule. It is so difficult to sleep at like 9 and then wake up at 5 to work out. This is me. And then the next day, like sleep at 11 and then wake up at 8. And then the next day you have to sleep at 9 to wake up at 5 again. So I'm just saying when your sleep schedule is not consistently the same, it is so hard to get your body to sleep. So if you tell yourself 10 o'clock, I'm going to sleep, then try to make that every day. And then it's hard on the weekends. But by the time it's Monday, maybe you can shift back into it. For me, it's a little difficult because Wednesdays, I don't have to wake up early to work out because that's my rest day. So I sleep in and then it throws me off on Thursday. And I'm just like, why did I do that? So definitely a sleep schedule is important.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a big difference when you have that sleep schedule because like your body learns. Like sometimes your body will wake up without even having an alarm.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's happened to everybody listening.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I never thought I would be the person, but now I wake up at 5:30 without the alarm.
But isn't it so annoying when you wake up and it's like 2 minutes before the alarm? I kind of want to have that extra 2 minutes, but now when I fall asleep, as I'm falling asleep, I know that there will be it's a horrible sound that was going to wake me up, and now my body's preparing to hear that in a minute 30 seconds, and now it's even a minute. Now I can't fall. It's like, you see what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. I feel it. I felt it today.
So
nothing. It is what it is.
Okay, I guess we move on. All right, so consistent sleep schedule. Next one is getting some sun. Now, this one is actually really interesting because we talk about vitamin D all the time. But this is also about your circadian rhythm, which is not just by like your nighttime, but it's also set by the sun. So when you wake up in the mornings, it's really important to take a walk or at least get outside to help signal your body that it's time to wake up, to pump the cortisol, or not pump it up, but like to raise the cortisol levels to give your body that energy. At night, when you actually see or experience the sun setting, that can actually signal to your body to release the melatonin hormone. As crazy as all these things sound, this is how our bodies were kind of like
meant to live
and engineered throughout the thousands and thousands of years. The sun would tell our bodies, okay, it's nighttime, it's time to like wind down and like get close to camp and be there for safety, So really interesting stuff.
Yes. Next tip.
Oh, actually, one thing I forgot to read from our doc too is that the sun's rays are actually different in the morning than the evening. That's why like your body will differentiate between the rays in the morning and the rays in the evening. Not Ray Romano, like rays, like the sun rays.
Sun rays.
And between that, your body's like, okay, it's nighttime, or it's like daytime.
Right. It's time to sleep. It's time to wake up. It's like a signal to your body.
Yeah.
So the next tip is no caffeine after 3 p.m. But I want to revise it and say no caffeine after 12 p.m.
Sure. Yeah.
Because, I mean, everyone is different. Like some people process caffeine quickly and they pee it right out and then it doesn't like circulate in their system. It doesn't affect their cortisol. And then some people it does. And for PCOS women, since it's harder for us to bring our cortisol back down, it could be really bad for our sleep at night. So it's something to consider cutting down or having only in the mornings. or removing altogether, because if you're fatigued during the day and you're using caffeine as a crutch to keep you awake, then this is really going to eventually make you feel addicted to caffeine and then throw off your cortisol rhythms and not allow you to naturally get them regulated in the way that they should be, so you could have quality sleep at night. So if you're going to have it with your breakfast and, leave it at that.
Yeah, and it usually takes about 3 to 6 hours for your body to like flush out the caffeine from your bloodstream. With that being said, let's say you drink your coffee at like 3 p.m. So if it's in your body for 6 hours, the caffeine, so by 9 p.m., let's say you're trying to get ready to sleep, your body can still be pumped up from that caffeine. You don't realize it because like maybe up until that moment, you were going throughout the day, school, work, kids, and like because life is crazy, you don't realize that the caffeine's there. And then finally, when everything's quiet, you're trying to wind down, your body is not ready to wind down because the caffeine is still pumping. So if you're drinking caffeine till late time, that could definitely have an impact.
Yes.
Or even just affect the quality of the sleep you have too.
Quality of the depth of the sleep. Yes.
Yes.
All right. Next tip, set a bedroom oasis. All right. Turn like the air on to 70. I think they say it should be like 72 or something. You can something.
That seems
cool.
too warm for.
Is it too warm? It's 72 for me and my soul because anything.
I'm gonna Google that right now.
Too cold. Okay, Google that. Well, okay. And get some blackout curtains. Get that light out of your room. Make sure that it's nice and dark and cool. You can even have
65 degrees, Tallinn.
Oh my God.
You were 7 degrees higher.
Because I always put it at 72.
Wait, Google says, is 72 degrees too hot to sleep? How did you know we were thinking about 72, bro?
What does it say? The recommended bedroom range for sleep is 60 and 72 degrees.
That's a wild range. But it
that
says,
is a wild range.
It says
60?
65 is considered the sweet spot for most people,
Good
according to
heavens.
Rayman.
I'll die.
I don't know who the hell Rayman is, but he seems to be an expert about temperatures and people's bodies.
Okay. Also, you can have some lavender oil, a little bit of
Can I say something? I'm so
oil
sorry.
to calm you down.
It says anything
What?
anything above 74 degrees for a prolonged period of time can cause serious health concerns.
Stop.
That's you. Tallinn sets the, I'm not joking, y'all. Tallinn sets the thermometer at 77. I am not joking.
Serious health concerns? Like what? What should be I concerned about? What should I be concerned about? All right. Well, we're fine. So 60 to 72 degrees, sisters. Set the tone for a good night of rest. We even, someone bought us a weighted blanket and we tried that because I've heard that that helps you get like deeper, higher quality sleep. I thought it was cool. Sirak felt like he had a bunch of chains on his body crushing him.
It felt like chains.
Yeah. But I thought it was okay. All right.
Also, another one is what are those called? You put over your eyes?
Sleep mask.
Sleep mask. Big difference. Mm-hmm. Cool. So I guess those are all the tips to get better sleep with PCOS. If there's anything you feel like we didn't cover or you have any questions about, please feel free to ask us in the DMs or in the comments. But of course, you can always ask us in our private Facebook group as well in the Sisterhood.
Speaking of which, let's read a couple messages from in there.
Yeah, let's go to our wins of the week. So the first one is from Jamie.
Jamie says, how many times a day should you take Ovasitol? I've been taking it once a day. I've been on it for 3 months now, and my periods have been getting better each month. Like it comes every 28 to 30 days, and that hasn't happened in 7 years.
Wow.
You go, girl.
That's amazing.
You can take Ovasitol twice a day.
Yeah.
But it sounds like once a day is good for you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's generally recommended once in the morning with breakfast and once in the evening with your dinner. But that's amazing. So we were talking about earlier about getting your period back and how that affects your sleep. Great to hear Jamie being able to get her period back. And, I don't know if she had sleep problems, but maybe that helped her.
Yeah. All right. Next is Anna Montemalo. She says, hi, sister. I hope everyone is having a good start to their new year. I just weighed myself this morning after 2 weeks starting gluten and dairy free, and I have lost 4 pounds. I'm sure a lot of that weight was water, but I am starting to feel so much better.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
4 pounds in 2 weeks is great. That's averaging 2 pounds a week. And we talk about healthy, sustainable weight loss is 1 to 2 pounds a week. And so Anna, you're doing great. And even if you're not doing 1 to 2 pounds, by the way, it doesn't mean it's good or bad. It's just
Yeah.
that's like a general rule of like healthy weight loss.
Yes. You're doing great. I don't think it's water weight. I think that that's like a steady, healthy weight loss speed. And you're probably losing a lot of inflammation in your body. And maybe that makes you feel less swollen and bloated. And it could be some water weight from that. All right, next.
Our next win is from Molly. She says, "Hi, I joined the Sisterhood membership tonight and I'm about 5 minutes into the videos and exploring the app and I'm feeling overwhelmed with gratitude. I never felt so seen and validated as I have in this 5 minutes. I'm sure this will only grow, but for now, all I can say is thank you so much." Oh,
You're
it's so
so
sweet.
welcome.
Thank you, Molly. We really appreciate
Oh my gosh,
that.
I can only imagine she's in like the Learn tab watching
Yeah.
the videos.
Yeah.
And I'm explaining PCOS in a fun way.
I love that. I love that. For anyone who like wants to feel that same way or wants to feel like they have a resource that they can trust and also like get everything they need, please check out the Sisterhood app. I mean, we always talk about it. Like we talked about the process in the last year. Basically, we spent 12 months just building the app and launching it. So if you want to see what that's like, you can always find it. It's in the link in the description of this episode. But yeah, thank you, Molly, for really saying that message. That makes our day.
Oh, so sweet.
Yeah. Cool. So I
All right,
guess
sisters. Well,
that is the episode, huh? You think we'll get better sleep tonight? I guess we need to do these
I
tips
will.
today.
I mean, it's the wind, I'm telling you. It was like banging against the window.
Yeah.
But yeah, should be fine. I might take a nap after this episode right now.
All right, everybody. We hope you have a great rest of your week. Until next week's episode, we will talk to you in the Facebook group and on the gram and stuff.
Talk to you soon, sisters.
Take care.
Bye. Hey, sisters, just wanted to let you know that all of our podcast episodes have corresponding blog posts that dive deeper into each topic. So head over to PCOSweightloss.org/blog.
Is this slash or is it backslash blog?
I don't know.
I've always heard one or the other.
It's /.
Or slash? Just in case, you can also go to PCOSweightloss.org.